everybody and welcome back to Silk Oil of Morocco UK. This week we're going to talk about wearing makeup when you've got spots. Everybody seems to still get spots. I haven't met anyone who has never had spots, obviously further on in life. As a teenager you kind of expect to get them, but I'm in my 30s. I should not still be getting spots. So we're going to talk through some different tips I've got on how to wear makeup when you've got spots. I've gone through the whole, when you try and put makeup on it and then they look worse or they just stand out more. And I've kind of got to a point where I've kind of mastered the art of hiding bad skin underneath makeup, because, if you've got big ones like blemishes on your face or scars, you want to be able to get all of that gone. That's the whole point of wearing the makeup, is it smoothens your skin out, evens your skin out and gives you a nice finish. It's also about self-confidence for a lot of people, because hiding all the blemishes and hiding the spots is their way of coping. So it's really important we get this right. So I'm going to take you through my tips and show you how I do it. Okay, so before I start, about half an hour before I know I'm going to put my makeup on, I will have a face wash just with warm water and then pat my skin dry. Don't rub, try and get scabs off, just let it dry naturally, because the scabs are going to come off on their own. This is a horrible conversation, I'm sorry, but it's the fact. You've got to let the scabs come off on their own. If you force them off, you will end up making it sore, they'll bleed and then they'll just come back. So don't scrub your face and try and scrub them away. Just dab your face dry, wash your face with water so you've cleansed. You can use a face wash. We do a face wash, it's got argan oil in it, so that can help with skin. And just pat your skin dry really, really gently. The first thing you want to start with when you're working with bad skin is a primer. A primer will help by evening out your face, any patches you've got. It also acts as kind of building up a layer, because obviously spots can stand out quite a bit, and having the primer on can help sort of draw away from the fact that you've got a really obvious lump on your chin, your forehead, or wherever else it might be. So I put about a pea-sized amount of primer on. Target the particularly bad areas. So for me at the moment it's my chin, my jawline and my forehead. My forehead is always terrible. I think it's something to do with the fact that I've had a fringe trim, which means that the grease in your hair, which builds up during the day, is obviously resting on your skin, which is not ideal. So rub that in. Don't be rough with spots, just rub them as you normally would. Don't really force it in, and just be as gentle as you can, because it is, at the end of the day, it's inflamed skin. Okay. Let that dry a minute. Okay, so when I'm dealing with spotty skin and I'm trying to cover up more than I would, obviously the better my skin is, the less makeup I tend to wear. But if my skin is bad like it is at the moment, I try and wear a little bit more to help hide that. Right, so we're going to be working with the powder foundation and the liquid foundation. I've got both in a beige here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my liquid foundation first, and I'm going to top that up with my powder foundation to even out any patches. Obviously the more layers you put on, the more risk you are at making it stand out more, but we're going to be really, really careful with how we put this on and really, really gentle. Start with my foundation brush, but I'm very quickly going to move on to my blending sponge, because the blending sponge really helps to get the makeup into all the nooks and crannies, stop that whole build up round a spot. So let's put a little bit on my hand. You don't need much at all, I've just got, again, a pea-sized amount. So just get it all in the places you need it, so under the eyes, any patches of skin that you're not particularly happy with that aren't uneven. And then just pop a tiny bit more than you would everywhere else on the areas with the blemishes. I'm not going to rub it in yet, we're just applying it at the moment. For me, those areas are always the same. I always get bad skin on my jawline, the forehead, and obviously the chin, which kind of ties in with the jawline. More on the under eye, get rid of those bags. Right, go back over those bad bits again. Right, then what I'm going to do is very gently with my blending sponge, I'm going to just dab over them, but really, really gently. You don't want to upset the skin, you don't want to be wiping off the foundation, you want it to be building up a nice layer over the skin. but without having any obvious marks. So we're not rubbing, we're just literally dabbing, okay? And as you can see, that's hidden all of the blemishes so far on my forehead. So under the eyes the same. With the blending sponge, you always want to dab. You never want to be dragging because it's not going to be giving the right effect. You want it to look as natural as possible, so by dabbing, it's drying as your skin would look, so it's a much more even and natural look. Okay, and the lower chin. Okay, so as you can see, my skin instantly looks much, much better. Obviously close up, you can, if you really look, you can see, and obviously if the light catches you in certain places, you can see, but that is where the powder foundation comes in, because you lose the sheen, you lose any shine on your face, and it will help to matte finish your face, which means there will be no shiny patches if you've got a lump. I've had spots before now where they've been huge, and it feels like a beacon, and it's all everybody can see, but believe me, a spot always feels 10 times worse to you than it does look to anybody else, so don't worry too much. But let's just start. We've got all of that on, and now we're going to move on to our powder foundation. I'm not going to go too crazy with the powder foundation because, to be honest, that finish is already quite nice. I'm just going to use it to have a little bit of a dust off at the end, and just to kind of give it a little bit of a matte finish without rubbing any of the liquid foundation off. You always want to give yourself a little bit of a few minutes of a break between putting your powder foundation over your liquid foundation, so just give it a few minutes, let that set, and then just a light brush. Again, nothing rough, really, this is barely even, it's just really gentle. Don't hold the brush heavily, don't push, don't drag, just really lightly. Just topping it back up there and just rubbing it really gently around in all the places you'd want to. This is not highlighting, this is literally just adding a top layer onto my liquid foundation to finish the look and lose any of the shine. So that's much better now, there's no shine, my skin looks very even, you wouldn't know I had any spots, which is what we're all after. The other tip I've got for bad skin, I tend to find when my skin's bad, and this is personal preference, if I have really bright lips or really fierce eyes or my eyebrows look really good, I feel like it tends to draw attention away from bad skin. So I will tend to go for a really bright colour if my skin's looking bad or I'm feeling bad, because it just helps to draw the attention away to another area of your face, obviously your lips, or eyes are another really good one. Just wear a little bit of nice sort of eye shimmer or a bit more mascara one day, because it just helps you to feel confident, because at the end of the day we all get spots. It's pretty damn normal to have spots and bad skin from time to time. So embrace it, wear some bright lipstick, get your liquid foundation on, your primer on first, and finish off with powder foundation. Do not be rough with your skin, be as gentle as you can with your skin. It's inflamed and it will clear up on its own. Another tip to say is, once you finish wearing your makeup and you're home again, use some warm water and get that all off, and again really gently dry your skin, patting rather than scrubbing, because scrubbing, speaking from experience, makes spots so much worse. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my very honest video about bad skin and makeup, and I will be back with you next week. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye!